Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Battlefront Barrage, and today is going to be episode 5, and I am joined by one of my good friends, TheOzzyJedi. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm very good. Are you ready to answer some questions really quickly?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Before we jump into it though, if any of the viewers at home don't know who you are, do you want to just give yourself a quick intro?
So I'm one of the Aussies in the Australian Battlefront YouTuber wave, I guess. I cover Battlefront 2 with news, rankings, discussions, all that good stuff, and some live streams. So yeah, that's the basic gist of it.
Awesome. Yeah, if you guys want to check out Ozzy's channel, I will have it linked down below. So if you guys haven't seen him before, you guys can go check that out as well. So make sure you sub to him, and if you aren't subbed to me and you're coming from Ozzy's channel, make sure you subscribe to me as well. So we're going to get into it now with some Battlefront 2 questions. You ready, Ozzy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet. All right, question number 1. What is your favorite thing about Battlefront 2?
I think just the way you can sort of immerse yourself in the Star Wars universe. I mean, like, no game even comes close when it comes to immersion like this one. Like, yeah, you've got Rey running around in the Clone Wars and all, but like nothing actually puts you in the Star Wars universe like this game does. And yeah, it's easily my favorite thing about it.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think that's a lot of the YouTubers have answered sort of similarly and said that the immersion is probably the best part about it.
Yeah, man, easy.
Cool. All right, question number 2. Who's your favorite light side hero to play and why?
People are going to probably hate me for this, but I'm going to say Anakin. Just because, you know, he's my favorite Star Wars character, and I just love playing with him, and his abilities are amazing. So, you know, people call it cheap, but I mean, he's fun to play. You can't deny that.
Yeah, his ability set is really fun. It's just a shame that DICE is having trouble balancing him.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to balance him well until they do something with his abilities, because it's the combinations that are the real killer.
Yeah, I think they just need to put a timer between the knockdown effects. I think that's something that
for sure
is probably the biggest issue. So
yeah,
cool. All right, who's your favorite dark side hero to play and why?
That's pretty easy. That's Darth Vader. You know, it's nothing too much more satisfying than getting that force choke and then sending the lightsaber down. So yeah, I mean, it's Vader. Like, you don't really need to go into too much detail for that one.
Yeah, saber throw probably like one of the most satisfying abilities in the whole game.
Oh yeah,
easily. Yeah, definitely. Cool. All right, question 4. If you could change one thing in the game, what would that be?
I'd probably change just the bugs. I mean, just, you know, obviously I understand the Frostbite engine's a little bit hard to work with, but the bugs for me, they kill the game for me sometimes. It's often bugs that lead to me, you know, dashboarding the game and just stop playing. So yeah, if they can iron out at least the majority of the bugs over the next few updates, I'd 100% change that.
Yeah, agreed. I think everyone agrees with that one, and a lot of bug fixes are going to be needed in the upcoming updates. Otherwise, they're going to see a loss of players, I think.
100%.
Cool. Which hero or villain, or both, would you like to see in the game most?
This has actually changed for me. I normally would have said, you know, Ahsoka and Ventress, but I actually want to see Jyn and Krennic come back. You know, they were some of my favorite parts about Battlefront 2015. I loved the Scarif DLC. So to see those two come back would be really good, and I've really started to enjoy Rogue One a lot more lately. So definitely those two.
Yeah, agreed. Rogue One content for me, like, now that they've said they're moving away from the Clone Wars, I think Rogue One is where they should focus.
Yeah, it's in the prime position for it, really.
Definitely. All right, question number 6. In your opinion, what is the most broken thing in the game right now?
Oh, I mean, the lightsaber combat in general. It's not great. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a massive step up from Battlefront 2015, and everything looks a lot better, but yeah, at times the lightsaber combat is just so broken. Like, there's no consistency with the blocking, the hit detection, you know, anything like that, the stamina. It's a mess, really.
Yeah, 100%. All right, question number 7. What is your favorite star card and why?
I'm gonna have to go with Rey's Damaging Strikes star card, I think it's called. It just allows you to get, you know, those massive multi kills with a dash. I absolutely love it. Rey's my main, so you know, I've got to stick with one of her star cards at least.
Yeah, I think that's those sort of star cards, like that one, and then the one for Grievous's Claw Rush and Obi-Wan's Defensive Rush. I think they're kind of the most fun star cards to use, because you can just one-hit infantry with that ability when you attach it. So
yeah, and there's nothing better than getting a multi-kill when you're doing a rush. It's so funny.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Cool. All right. Next question, which trooper class is your favorite?
I'm gonna say the officer. I know it's a bit cheesy. They're very, very easy to earn battle points with, but yeah, I just enjoy playing with them. The SC-44C is like one of my favorite blasters in the entire game. I used to main the assault quite a bit, but I made the change to officer and then haven't really looked back, to be honest.
By far the best weapon in the game, I think, the SC-44C.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure.
Agreed. Cool. All right, moving forward, what is your favorite map to play?
It's got to be Naboo, Feed on Naboo, rather. I love it. It's like the first map we got to play on in the beta. You know, there's a lot of history and nostalgia there, I guess. And yeah, it's got a good mix of, you know, openness, choke points, and that chaotic throne room at the end. Yeah, I love that entire Galactic Assault map.
Yeah, my favorite map as well. A lot of people that watch me all the time know that that's my absolute favorite map in the game.
Yeah,
so yeah, definitely. And even though we played it like in the beta and that was all we could play, I still think it's the most enjoyable one.
100%. They couldn't have showcased a better map.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So the next one, leading off from that, how do you think Battlefront 2 could be improved?
I think probably a little bit more transparency between the developers and the players. I know this goes higher up than the developers, but I feel like the community overall would really benefit from that, and in turn, like the game overall would benefit from that. So yeah, I think just the developer communication, like it has a trickle effect. It doesn't directly affect the game, but it affects the community. So I think if they started working on that, you know, things would trickle down and could help improve the game in a way.
Yeah, it would just definitely keep like the community in a bit better vibe and attitude towards the developers working on the game. If they just could tell us a little bit more, or at least what they're working on or what's coming, you know, that would be a lot better, I think.
Yeah. And it's so frustrating as a Battlefront YouTuber, just not being able to get the transparency we're after. You know, we've got a community that we need to provide content for, but we don't know what's going on 99% of the time. It's a nightmare. Yeah,
that's it. And speaking of like excess content, if you could add anything to the game, what would that be?
I'd add a Coruscant map, the Jedi Temple. I've got to go with that. I don't think we'll ever see it, but you know, if there's one thing I want added to Battlefront 2, it is 100% a Coruscant capital supremacy map.
Capital supremacy, yeah. I'd like to see it for GA as well, I think, if they could do that.
Yeah, for both, for sure.
Yeah, like with Felucia coming in, right now there's no word on GA. It's kind of just capital supremacy only at this point. So I'm a little bit like frustrated because I prefer GA over capital supremacy and I would love to see Felucia in GA. But yeah, I guess it's just one thing at a time.
Yeah, I think if capital supremacy had all the errors, like if you had a map from each era and you kept everything error locked depending on the map, I think that'd make capital supremacy like amazing, like far better than Galactic Assault for me. Because Galactic Assault is my favorite, but I think capital supremacy might need an improvement with the errors just to add a bit more to it.
Yeah, that's one of the things a lot of people have requested is all errors for capital supremacy.
Yeah, understandably.
Yeah, huge. All right, well, speaking of capital supremacy, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Clone Commando update? You know, we've got the Commandos, we've got Felucia, we've got instant action and co-op coming to the game. What are your thoughts on that overall?
I'm really looking forward to it, actually. I don't normally get too hyped about updates because a lot of them tend to come with a bit of disappointment, and I'm normally bracing for that. But this one I'm going in really optimistic. I really hope that, you know, DICE, you know, knock it out of the park with this. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to play on Felucia. The Clone Commandos I'm probably a bit less excited for, but Felucia for me is probably the number one thing, and it's the thing I'm waiting for, just counting down the days.
Yeah, that's it. Only a couple left. Wednesday for us, so
yep,
it'll be a nice release. Yeah, a bit of fresh content for us to pump out, and you know, obviously a bit more fun for everyone else.
Makes YouTube is so much easier when there's content. I tell you what.
I know. I went to make my content schedule for this week, and I was like, oh, there's an update on Wednesday. Here's this video, and I'm done.
Yeah. It's easy. You can just plan everything out.
Yeah.
Unlike having to do everything on the fly, because you know we get random late announcements whenever. So
yeah, or like creative content block comes, and you're just like, oh, what do I work on now?
Yep. Cool. Spoiled for choice.
Yeah, that's it. So in terms of, you mentioned before a little bit, you wanted Coruscant added as a map. What other maps would you like to see potentially added to the game in the future?
I'd like to see the Scarif map from Battlefront 2015.
Yes.
Ported over. to Battlefront 2. I love that map, and you know, the nostalgia you can't underestimate it when it comes to Battlefront games. So I think adding Scarif would be like massive, and if you added Jin and Krennic alongside that, then I mean that's a home run. People might say, yeah, it's reused content, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's good content.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was reused, it was the same map, just sort of brought up to Battlefront 2 standards. I would be so happy to see that in, you know, Galactic Assault or Capital Supremacy. You know, either way that they did it, I think even if it's the same map as Battlefront 2015, most of the community would still be happy to receive that.
Yeah, I'd be totally gassed with that. And I know a lot of my subscribers would be as well.
Yeah, like if we got an announcement, you know, sort of in the next couple of weeks saying, oh yeah, we're working on Rogue One content, I think everyone would just freak out.
I'd freak out. Yeah. I'd do flips.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, I think most of us would. We're just like, and that goes back to what you said before about the transparency, just knowing what's coming in the future and knowing what's being worked on. You know, every time we get a roadmap, it's kind of like, yeah, like they give us little bits, but there's no like specifics to it. So
yeah, exactly.
Always makes it hard to sort of plan out your videos and your schedule and what's coming. Or someone goes, oh, what's the next hero? What's the next map? And we're just kind of like, I don't know.
Don't know, man. You know as much as me.
Yeah, that's it. So that's something obviously that could be a big improvement, is some Rogue One DLC, and a lot of people would be happy with that.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool. What do you see in the Battlefront future? So what are you expecting in sort of the next 6 to 12 months in terms of Battlefront 2?
Honestly, we just talked about it, but I'm expecting some original trilogy content, especially in 2020. I think we'll get 4 heroes in 2020. I think we'll get Jin, Krennic, Ahsoka, and Ventress.
Yep.
That's me being pretty optimistic, but I think it could probably happen. So you know, the future of Battlefront 2, it looks pretty bright. It looks like they're going to keep going with it well into 2020. So, and who knows, maybe even beyond. So. I don't say it too often, but I actually think the future of Battlefront 2 is pretty bright, because it's got that real cult following that's going to, you know, take it through again and again and again. So, yeah, I mean, future looks good.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's like you said, that cult following. It's a very loyal fan base that plays Battlefront, and you know, even with 2015, there's still people that go back and play that game now, and you know, they have the opportunity to do private matches, obviously. But in terms of Battlefront 2, I think the next, you know, 6 to 12 months could be really impressive if we just stick it out. And we know they're moving away from Clone Wars after Felucia. That's been, you know, tweeted out by Ben. He's sort of said that Felucia's the last bit of Clone Wars for now. So hopefully that means they're going to move into like maybe some OT or ST content in the future.
Yeah, exactly. And we're getting that ST content at the end of the year. So, you know, that opens up 2020 for a lot.
Yep.
So, 100%. Yeah, I think future's looking good. For sure.
Agreed. All right, and last one for the Battlefront questions. What's your highest kill streak you've ever gotten, and which character was it with?
I was just talking about this in the stream today. 116 with Bosk.
That is solid.
Yeah.
That is very solid. Wow. What map was that on?
That was on Crate.
Wow.
Not long after it dropped.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I actually had the kill record for a while, and then somebody must have snatched it. Probably Paul John. I know he's watching this.
Yeah, he will be watching this. He'll probably be in the comment section later going, I have 132.
No doubt.
Yeah, but that's an insane streak. I think the highest I got with Bosk was like in the high 50s. So 116 is insane.
It was a total fluke. I was in a bot lobby.
Yeah. You'll have to show me the ways.
Oh, 100%.
Cool. All right, so moving away from Battlefront a little bit, we're going to jump into some quick rapid-fire Star Wars questions. So you ready for that?
Yep.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Favorite Star Wars movie and why?
Revenge of the Sith. Anakin, his entire shift to the dark side, you know, that for me is just peak Star Wars. And Revenge of the Sith is the one that got me into it. So, you know, I really can't go past it.
100%. All right, like leading off from that question, I know you said Revenge of the Sith is your favorite Star Wars movie, but what is your favorite lightsaber duel? Am I right in assuming it would be Obi-Wan versus Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, or is it something different?
Spot on, mate.
Yep.
Spot on.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's an easy answer for that one. Yeah. I figured like when you said Revenge of the Sith, that's most people's favorite duel when that's their favorite movie. So
it's a killer.
Sweet. All right. Leading off from that, who's your favorite character and why? And I think you've answered this already in Anakin. But is it his development? Is it his, you know, his sort of persona in the movies? What is it about Anakin that you like so much?
It's his like just how complicated a character he is. You know, people might say, yeah, he's a bit of a whiny sort of character, but you need to understand what he's gone through. You know what I mean? Like, he's had a really rough past. He's grown up, and then he's had that pull to the dark the entire time. Like, and yeah, I don't know. There's something about Anakin that I just can't shake, and he's always been my favorite, and I think he always will be, to be honest. Kylo Ren is actually not too far off as well either.
Yeah, they both have that sort of similar tormented kind of background to their story, and it makes you like sympathize with them a little bit, I feel.
I'm a sucker for conflicted characters in movies, so that's why I think Anakin and Kylo are up there for me.
Yeah.
But Anakin, number one, easy.
Definitely. All right. Moving on from that, last Star Wars question, and this one's a little bit of a fun one, so I hope you're ready for it.
Yep.
If you could marry one person from the Star Wars universe, who would it be and why?
I'd marry Rey. My infatuation with Daisy Ridley is probably a little bit unhealthy, so yeah, that was easy.
Cool. Yeah, that's actually different. A lot of people have said Padme so far, and I think Sammy said Leia, so most of the people have gone with Leia or Padme, but yeah, you're the first one I think to say Rey in this one. Or although Star Bazaar, I know he does love Daisy Ridley as well, so he might have. I'll have to go back and check that one. But
yeah, you can't not.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, I think it's the smile. That's definitely what gets me about
it's
Daisy
everything.
Ridley is, yeah.
Don't get me started.
Yeah. All right, before we get you going on a rant about Daisy Ridley, let's shift into some YouTube questions here. Why did you start YouTube in the first place?
I was pretty good at Battlefront 2015. I found myself at the top of the lobbies a lot, and I always used to watch Elliot around that time. So
yep.
I thought, you know what, why not? I might as well just make my own channel, just see what happens. And I think my second video just caught on, and then the rest is sort of history. But it was just the fact that I actually had a bit of skill with Battlefront 2015, and the fact that I used to watch Elliot sort of just inspired me to start my own. Yeah,
cool. And you said your second video caught on. What video was that?
It was why Clone Wars should be in Battlefront 2 or something like that.
Yep.
It had like 2,000 views after a day, and I had like 5 subs. I was like, what the hell?
That's crazy.
So yeah, that got me my kickstart. That's the video that sort of broke me through.
Yeah, it's funny. I had a similar situation. I sort of started pre-Battlefront 2, and the first video, I would think I was about 100 subs deep. That's all I had, and I made a video on potential abilities for Kylo Ren. Like, this was before Battlefront 2 came out, and I took snippets from The Force Awakens of like when he freezes that blaster bolt, and like different abilities that he'd used in the movie. And it turns out that freeze, when the trailer came out, actually was one of his abilities. So that video did really, really well, and that got like 4,000 views or something within like the first couple of days. And I was just like, wow, like this could potentially be something. So I just kept going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny how YouTube works, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. It's annoying at sometimes, but
yeah, it's extremely fickle, and it can be quite disheartening. But
very fickle.
At the same time, it can be a lot of fun too. So.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Moving into the next question though, how long have you been a content creator for?
It would have been just before Battlefront 2's release, so I think sometime mid to early 2017, I'd say. So 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't think I'd be where I am after 2.5 years at all, and it's scary to think that I probably could have been a lot further along if I didn't take so much time off. So it's been a pretty wild ride for 2.5 years.
Seems like you're back on track now though, and growing at a pretty good rate.
Yeah.
So
back into it and loving it. So it's good fun.
100%. And you said you've been a content creator for 2.5 years. In those 2.5 years, what has been the most sort of amazing thing to happen in your YouTube career?
It was actually someone who reached out to me on Twitter. I won't name him, but he was really struggling with some things in his life, and yeah, I don't want to go too deep, but he had some pretty dark thoughts, and my channel was the escape that he said he needed, and it really pulled him out of a dark place. So that for me was as fulfilling as anything, knowing that I've sort of pulled someone out of the abyss with just making content on a platform talking about a game. It was a pretty crazy feeling, and it was easily the most amazing thing that I've seen so far with YouTube. Yeah,
that's awesome. And like, we may not realize it sometimes, but like the amount of influence that our content can sometimes have on a person, it may seem minimal to us, but when you get a message like that, you realize just how much you know, our content goes, like how far it goes and how much it means to some people. So that's really awesome. Yeah,
it's unbelievable just the reach and impact you can have. Like even for a smaller channel, like we're both under 50k, but you know, we've got people that are that loyal. It's crazy, and it's really good. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned, you know, a little bit before on you took a break from YouTube. You know, how do you find balancing the rest of your life with your, you know, content creation and your YouTube time?
I'm finding it a lot easier now because I'm in more of a routine, because I'm not working part-time anymore. YouTube is technically my full-time job because I'm studying full-time at uni, and YouTube's my only source of income. So I'm finding it easier to, you know, balance half and half, which I've really struggled with like the entire time I've done YouTube. And it's, you know, a lot of the reasons why I've taken big breaks before. But, you know, I feel like finally I've got the balance like bang on, and it's making YouTube a lot easier as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier when you can sort of prep things out or be a bit more organized with your content creation. That way you're ready to go for the week or whatever you need to do.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And finally, the last question, what are your absolute favorite types of videos to make?
Probably the ranking videos. They're probably the videos that have, you know, gotten me probably half my growth, like literally. And I mean, they're just fun to make because whilst they're your opinion, you know that you're gonna annoy someone with it. And just making the video knowing that, okay, this is gonna piss a few people off.
Yeah, like this is gonna trigger someone in the comment section.
It's kind of fun. But you know, like the Star Wars Battlefront fan base is passionate as hell. So if you don't all agree on something, it's gonna get pretty vocal. And yeah, I just enjoy, you know, making them and, you know, watching people just go at it in the comments, you know, whether it's a good friendly chat or people actually going at it. It's crazy to see the passion that Battlefront YouTubers fans have, and it's nice making videos like that get the community really talking and interacting with each other.
Yeah, that's it. And you can kind of just sit back with your bowl of popcorn while everyone just goes at it in the comment section. Yeah. You're just sitting there reading, like having a good laugh.
Until it goes too far, and then you're like, okay, all right.
Now I got to stop something here. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's all the questions I have for you today, man. I really appreciate you coming on the channel.
No worries at all, man. Anytime.
Sweet. All right, guys. Like I said before, Ozzy's channel will be linked down in the description below. Make sure you go smash a big subscribe and turn on all the notifications for him as well. Like we said earlier, we are both going to have content coming out. There's going to be a collaboration video with the two of us on his channel later on down the line. So make sure you stay tuned and keep your eyes peeled on his channel for that one. I am going to get out of here. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in, and may the Force be with you always.
The Sith are all powerful. You are no match for me.